I'm David Costa from the Schreiber Public Library, and today I'll be reading you this week's edition of the Terrace Bay Schreiber News. Franco Terrace Catholic School celebrates winter. March was full of fun activities for École Catholique Franco Terrace students. They enjoyed pancakes in celebration of Shrove Tuesday, or Pancake Day, and had fun in the snow during their winter carnival. In preparation for March break, students had a tropical day and enjoyed delicious smoothies to get into vacation mode. In addition, grade 3 to 8 students went skating. Terrace Bay Schreiber News looking for contributors. The Terrace Bay Schreiber News and the Nipmuc Red Rock Gazette are always looking for community contributors to help keep their communities up to date on the day-to-day goings-on. Community contributions can be as simple as a great picture you took, either scenic or maybe just of something in your town. Of course, a descriptive sentence is always appreciated. Community organizations, groups, and even businesses that wish to showcase things they have been accomplished, things they are doing, ongoing activities, good news stories, bad news stories, or anything in between. There is no guarantee a submission will be printed. Some submissions may appear in the Terrace Bay Schreiber News and the Nipmuc Red Rock Gazette. Email community contributions to tbsnews@yahoo.com or nipmucgazette@shaw.ca. Be sure to check out the community calendar on page 3 of this week's edition of the Terrace Bay Schreiber News. East-West Tie Transmission Line comes into service. The East-West Tie Transmission Line project is now in service, providing reliable long-term electricity to Ontario's northwest. The 450-kilometer, 230-kilovolt transmission line runs from Wawa to Thunder Bay, Ontario, and will provide access to energy to support new economic growth in the region for years to come. This is a momentous day for the people of Ontario, and Nextbridge is proud to have brought our expertise and resources to the region to make it a reality, said Project Director Jennifer Tidmarsh. Despite numerous external challenges during construction, including a global pandemic and historic forest fire activity in the region, the Nextbridge joint venture partners have fulfilled a commitment to the people of Ontario and the East-West Tie to deliver electricity that will power growth in the Northwest. Built by Nextbridge, a partnership of NextEra Energy Canada, Enbridge, and OMERS Infrastructure, the East-West Tie line addresses long-standing constraints that restricted the flow of electricity between northwestern Ontario and the south. The project featured strong participation from a number of local Indigenous communities. Project partners, including local Indigenous leaders as well as representatives from the Ontario Government, Minister of Energy Todd Smith, and Minister of Northern Development, Mines, Natural Resources, and Forestry Greg Rickford, attended a celebration today in Wawa to honor the project's completion. Years of collaboration with Indigenous communities, countless stakeholders, and right-of-way communities from Thunder Bay to Wawa were required to get us here today, said Tidmarsh. A partnership with Bamkashwada, a group comprised of the most proximate Indigenous communities, saw the creation of Supercom Industries, a 100% Indigenous-owned partnership responsible for project hiring and procurement. More than 200 Indigenous workers received training, and Indigenous monitors were deployed to ensure Aboriginal and treaty rights were respected during project construction. Project facts: double-circuit 230-kilovolt transmission line, approximately 450 kilometers in length, connected to 3 transformer stations, Lakehead, Marathon, and Wawa, provides total transfer capability of 450 megawatts in conjunction with existing transmission infrastructure in the northwest, with ability to accommodate up to 650 megawatts, 1,228 towers. Construction began in September 2019 and required 4 million person-hours of labor. Indigenous men and women accounted for up to 60% of construction workforce. T-Baytel Tamarack House is a home away from home for Northwestern Ontario residents. Unfortunately, when regional patients and families require medical treatment for more than 5 consecutive days away from home, the Northern Health Travel Grant falls short. That's why T-Baytel Tamarack House exists, to be a true haven in every way, physically, emotionally, and financially. When Fort Frances resident Lauren McNay was diagnosed with oral cancer in summer of 2021, my family doctor said, "You've got to go to Thunder Bay," he recounts. Surgery was not an option for me, and I was scheduled for 5 weeks of radiation therapy and many rounds of chemo. Lauren was already familiar with T-Baytel Tamarack House from an earlier stay and through articles in the town newspaper. Lauren and Sandra arrived in Thunder Bay in early June didn't leave until the end of July, and can't say enough good things about T-Baytel Tamarack House. Located on the top floor of the medical center, right beside Thunder Bay Regional Health Sciences Center, it was like having a home away from home, Lauren says. You're literally 5 minutes away from your appointments. You just walk over there, do your thing, and walk back to your room. Sandra loved the welcoming tour, their comfortable room, a spot in the fridge and cupboards, laundry facilities, a gym, and the chance to meet other guests, play cards and games, and share their stories over meals together. Even though Lauren and Sandra were very well accommodated, Sandra says it was hard to watch as he went from being my dad, having supper with me, to no longer being able to eat, no longer being able to swallow, having a feeding tube, having hydration through an IV, and spending a lot of time sleeping. At one point, when Lauren spent 8 days in the hospital and they thought they'd lose him, Sandra realized life is precious, and those weeks at Tamarack House gave me time with my dad that I wouldn't otherwise have had. I didn't have the means or the stamina to stay in a hotel. I couldn't have done it. Tamarack House was a lifesaver for us. Residents are only charged a fee equal to the amount of their Northern Health Travel Grant, so there are no out-of-pocket expenses for the stay at Tamarack House. A couple of weeks into treatment, Sandra, seeing all the expenses at T-Baytel Tamarack House that she knew couldn't possibly be covered by fees, started a fundraiser. Already active selling Tyberg River Natural online, Sandra used her products to raise $2,374, which she donated to the Northern Cancer Fund, specifically earmarked for T-Baytel Tamarack House. Lauren got a recognition leaf with his name on it, and when it was placed in the tamarack tree, Sandra admits it was pretty emotional. Sandra is thankful that T-Baytel supported Tamarack House right from the beginning. I often wonder how T-Baytel Tamarack House survives. They have staff, there's upkeep, and I think it's amazing that T-Baytel is committed to supporting the people in our region. She encourages others to find ways to give, knowing how important T-Baytel Tamarack House was for her and her dad. If you had to go alone, it would be terrible, Lauren says. Sandra did all my phoning, my appointments, she was up on everything. Sandra is also a nurse, and staying with her dad throughout his treatment was a huge relief for both of them. Like when he needed hydration, I was able to help him with that, Sandra says. On the positive side, every day after radiation treatment, we'd high-five each other and count down until that final day when we rang the bell and we were done. Sandra and Lauren know firsthand how tough and scary a medical journey can be, and with cancer on the rise, they want people to know that T-Baytel Tamarack House is there for them. A comfortable, supportive, convenient, and affordable haven in Thunder Bay. Be sure to check out the entertainment section of this week's edition of the Terrace Bay Schreiber News for your weekly crossword and horoscopes. OPP Report. On April 11th, 2022, officers from the Schreiber Detachment of the Ontario Provincial Police conducted an investigation into drug trafficking in the towns of Schreiber and Terrace Bay. Search warrants were executed on cell phones, and as a result of the investigation, Timothy Ford, 40 years old, of Schreiber, was arrested and charged with trafficking in Schedule I substance, cocaine, contrary to Section 5.1 of the Controlled Drug and Substances Act. The accused is in custody, awaiting a bail hearing. The OPP would like to remind the public that if you observe suspicious activity, you can report that activity to the Ontario Provincial Police by calling 1-888-310-1122. Should you wish to remain anonymous, you may call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477 TIPS. If you submit a tip through Crime Stoppers, you may be eligible to receive a cash reward of up to $2,000. Visit www.ontariocrimestoppers.ca if you would like more information on how to send online anonymous tips. When you submit online tips, you can also send pictures, videos, audio recordings, and documents. Here's an article from the 1994 Terrace Bay Schreiber News. Schreiber residents who turned out for a meeting on the future of tourism in the town agreed the most important steps would be to develop a railway-related attraction and to promote year-round natural attractions in the area. About 40 people attended the meeting on April 14th to share ideas and to contribute to a tourism study presently being undertaken in Schreiber. Roger Todhunter of Roger Todhunter and Associates and Glenn Pincombe of Tourism International Consulting Services, who are conducting the study, headed up discussion at the meeting. Todhunter told the crowd, Schreiber should look to its past as a basis to develop its tourism industry on. The development of the tourism industry in Schreiber should be based on the cultural and historical significance of the community, he said. There are quite a few variables that should be taken into account when developing such a plan. The aging population of baby boomers should be considered and attractions should be designed to appeal to this group, he said. Also, with many more women in the workforce these days, vacation time can often be difficult to get and can be reduced. This should be taken into account as well. Today's population is better educated than in the past, and vacationers don't take trips to relax as much as in the past. They want to learn and take things back with them. I think that ties in well with the heritage part, Pincombe told the crowd. It will be very important to promote more than just the town of Schreiber. The focus will have to be on the entire Schreiber area, he said. The members of the crowd were asked for their input following a brief information session, and the meeting quickly became more like a workshop. Groups were formed and ideas pooled as each person gave their ideas on what direction the tourism industry should take in Schreiber. Everyone was asked to be specific as to what they wanted, and each group presented their findings. Equal weight was put to the ideas of building a railway attraction and promoting the area's natural beauty. There were many ideas about what the railway attraction would consist of, including a railway theme park and a railcar restaurant. Better access to Schreiber Beach was a big concern in terms of promoting the area's natural beauty. Residents also said they would like to see more promotion of trails, four-season activities, and the scenery. An observation deck along with the railway attraction is one consideration. The cultural diversity of Schreiber can also be used to promote interest. Heritage Days was cited as a potentially large boost for the community. There was also some concern about the aesthetic of Schreiber. Town beautification was also on the list of things to do to bring more tourists in. The stretch of highway through town was thought to need some sprucing up. A more receptive and friendly community, especially in the hospitality industry, would also go a long way to helping out. Heritage and Tourism Committee President Ray Giannett asked Councillor Barutsky if he would take the residents' concern to council and request any further action be put on hold. Barutsky agreed. Todd Hunter told the crowd the ideas brought forward have been bang on in terms of what we should be doing. Another meeting is expected to be held May 19th. Thank you for watching this week's edition of the Terrace Bay Schreiber News. Please support community newspapers by purchasing a subscription.